to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Accomplishment Coaching is proud to present the following fine programming. Accomplishment Coaching, where coaches lead and leaders coach. AccomplishmentCoaching.com.
Welcome back to the Wealth Building Hour.
Thanks for joining me. I'm Barbara Weltman, publisher of Big Ideas for Small Business, Idea of the Day, and author of J.K. Lasser's Small Business Taxes. 2018 edition is now out. Joining me now is one of my favorite guests, coming back, Kenneth Gronbach. Ken is a futurist and generational marketing expert. His newest book, Upside, Profiting from the Profound Demographic Shifts Ahead. And we're going to be talking today about the 7 top trends that will shape the coming decade and certainly affect your business. Welcome back, Ken.
Good to be here.
Please, first of all, just tell me a little bit about the book and tell everybody where they can find it, and then we can jump into some questions.
Well, of course, you can get it on Amazon. It's called Upside, and what we've done is this will be the book if you are looking to find out where populations are going, what states are growing, what states are not growing. And in addition to the United States, we've also covered the European Union, Eastern Europe, Asia, and continent of Africa. So it's going to be the encyclopedia, and it's hopefully written in a fun way. And you can get it on Amazon. You can also get it on my site, and that is kgcdirect.com. If you buy it on my site, I sign it and inscribe it.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I have to confess, I haven't read it, but I have read your other 2 books, and so I'm looking forward to getting into this one. So this will sort of be an intro for me. And one of the things that I know that you talk about is the tsunami shift in the population in the U.S. when it comes to the southern states where I am. So please tell my listeners about this. I'm in Florida.
Yeah, my wife and I just bought a condo about a year and a half ago in Bonita Springs, and it's so much fun to watch things change. What's going to happen is and I warned Florida legislators about this, and I get to speak to them on occasion. I said, guys, you're currently dealing with the people that are elderly in Florida now, and I'll say elderly is 70 to 90 years old. That's where the bulk of them are. I said, that particular generation was born roughly 1925 to 1944. It's the smallest generation of the last 100 years. I said, so if you think you've seen the graying of America, you've seen the exact opposite. What's happening right now is the tide is out. And what will happen is the largest generation ever to retire, and it's got Florida in its crosshairs, is the baby boomers. And the baby boomers are right now are 80 million people when you factor in immigration. And they are going to turn Florida on its ear. Florida's population should go to 30 million, which means that Florida doesn't have enough roads. Florida doesn't have enough stores. Florida doesn't have enough hospitals. Florida doesn't have enough anything. How's that?
Well, I can tell you, I can see it. They're building roads. They're continually working on the roads and expanding all over the place. Housing is going up all over the place. And I know one of the issues that confront a number of communities is trying to have plans to limit growth and determine how it's going to impact the local governments.
Unfortunately, they should have been planning that about 10 years ago. So what is going to happen is, and why we call this a tsunami, and we use that word, and we're very careful about the selection of that word, but the tide is out. When a tsunami hits, just before a tsunami hits, the tide goes way out, and people think everything is safe. They walk out on the flats, they pick up fish, they think everything is wonderful, and then along comes a wave. Florida needs to prepare for this. In fact, the southern states in general need to prepare for this. So if you could start in Virginia, go down to Florida, go over to Texas, go to California and include Nevada and Arizona, these are all states that are going to see a dramatic wave of baby boomer retirees. And with the possible exception of Arizona, because they spent a fair amount of time there, they're not ready for it. Just simply not ready for it.
And so what does this mean for business, employment, and how do you, is this a positive thing? Is this an opportunity for business to come in and meet the demands of an increasing population?
You got it. What I tell folks is that there are three categories. And what we have is we have termed a barbell economy, and that is we have baby boomers at one end who are 53 to 72, and we have their kids at the other end, which are bigger than the baby boomers by at least 2 birth years, that are 13 to 32. The baby boomers are going to have tremendous needs in health care, elder care, and death care. And those are all way, 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 way underserved. So I think we're going to see dramatic changes in the United States dealing with the demand that boomers are going to put on those three categories. In addition, and things that I tell folks in the South, I say, listen, you're going to get hit with a wave of baby boomers, but you have to keep in mind that they're going to require services, and those services are going to come from younger people, and younger people are going to need affordable housing. So if you think you're just going to build expensive housing to take advantage of these folks, you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to need to provide affordable housing as well, or these people are not going to be able to get services.
Yeah, that's a really great point. I think in my area there's a wide range of housing options and across all price ranges. So I think that's okay. But I understand what you're saying in terms of the demand for health care. It's already issues when you call up and say you have to wait for appointments, and hospitals are merging, and there's just so much going on. I mean, things are not stable. Things are happening.
Yeah, things are happening, and the unfortunate part about it is that the current, the way things are right now, people are kind of lulled into a hypnotic state of, we'll be fine and we can handle it. No, you haven't even experienced what is coming your way, and it's clearly that's the case of what the baby boomers are going to do to the southern states, and it's going to be across the board, and it will include Louisiana and Mississippi. I recently spoke in Mississippi, and they said, well, we don't see very many tourists here. And I said, you will, because for one thing, you have it's a beautiful state, and two, it's inexpensive to live here. We have a broad spectrum of income levels with boomers.
Absolutely, and you can just see so much happening here, and I'm sure that this is similar to the other southern states that you've mentioned. Why are they fleeing New England and the other northern states? Why is this mass exodus? It's just temperature?
It's a temperature. It's funny because I have thank God, a beautiful house here in Connecticut, and we're like 10 stories off of the Connecticut River, right on the river, built into a hillside. And I told my wife the other day, I said, I got up last night and I went and I looked outside, turned the light on outside, and it was snowing. And that's like the magic word. I mean, it's like snow. It's like, snow. Did you say it was snowing? So cold. Oh, yeah, boomers don't like the cold, period. Old people don't like the cold. They want to be warm. I want to hang out with other old people. I want to go out to eat, go fishing.
Well, there's a lot to be said for that, I can tell you. I can tell you frankly, it is transformational to be able to be outdoors all year round. I think health-wise it really adds a lot, and socialization, there's a lot there too. It's easier for older people to connect. But then that presents the challenges to all of us. One of the challenges you mentioned, we're coming up to a break, so we'll save it for after the break. But one of the challenges that you pose, you talked about the healthcare problems that we're all going to have to address with aging boomers like myself, but you also said we have tax problems, and I'm curious to hear your take on that. I want to make sure everybody understands that the name of the book is Upside: Profiting from the Profound Demographic Shifts Ahead. And again, this book is available on Amazon or directly from Ken at the website kgcdirect.com. We have a minute before we take the break. You mentioned Florida, you mentioned Texas. Why was Arizona so prepared, or more prepared than the other states?
Because they've been dealing with snowbirds for decades. This is when you have a state that already has a footprint or a history of dealing with retirees, they're better off. Which is why southern states that don't have a history, like Mississippi, are going to struggle with this until they get a handle on it.
I see. Well, Florida's been dealing with snowbirds for sure, and we've had excuse me, a considerable influx from residents of Puerto Rico following Hurricane Maria. So the swell of the population is already yeah. Okay, we're coming up to a break now. So when we come back, we're going to talk about the impact of profound demographic shifts. I'm Barbara Weltman, BarbaraWeltman.com. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Securing Our eCity Foundation is a nonprofit organization focused on cybersecurity awareness and education. Formed in 2011, their mission is to enable every San Diegan to live, work, and play safely in the cyber world. For more information, visit securingourecity.org or call 619-630-2444. securingourecity.org, 619-630-2444. securingourecity.org.
You were born to do one amazing thing, but most people spend a lifetime trying to identify what it is. If you're in a job you don't like or are unemployed, if you're in a state of transition or just can't shake that nagging feeling that you were meant and made to do something extraordinary, then the Reinvention Workshop is exactly what you need. Led by award-winning self-help author Steve Olsher, the Reinvention Workshop will forever change your life. The Reinvention Workshop takes you step by step through Steve's proven formula that has helped so many people get on the right path and clear about what they were born to do. Take the first step to realizing the life you deserve and desire by visiting thereinventionworkshop.com today. No more delays. No more denial. Reconnect with your true self. Learn to live with purpose and conviction and become who you were born to be. The world is waiting for you. What are you waiting for? Log on to thereinventionworkshop.com today. That's thereinventionworkshop.com.
You may have heard me brag about Progressive Medical Center and just how much they've helped me with my health. And Dr. Goli, one thing that you have helped so many people with is migraines.
Unfortunately, there are millions and millions of Americans who are suffering with migraines and headaches, and they're debilitating because it affects the quality of their life, and they cannot function properly. At Progressive, we get the root cause because we understand that migraines could be caused by nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, believe it or not, delayed food sensitivities. And once we determine what the real reason is, we put a plan of action together with medication that we get them off slowly, and we put them on an all-natural approach, and the results are amazing.
Incredible. I mean, there's so many people that can say they don't live their lives with migraines anymore thanks to Progressive Medical Center.
And that's what's exciting and rewarding to us as physicians, because we help our patients take control of their health, and that's why they're living well.
Why don't you get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today? Don't live in pain. Don't have migraines anymore. Just go to their website, progressivemedicalcenter.com.
This is your life. Live it well.
In the military, things can change in an instant. Your personal life is just the same. Just like you protect our country, you want your family protected. That's why thousands of military members trust Navy Mutual Life Insurance. Navy Mutual is nonprofit, providing current and former Navy, Marine, and Coast Guard families with life insurance, no sales fees, and no military service restrictions. Protecting members on active duty and beyond. Call 1-800-628-6011. 800-628-6011. NavyMutual.org. Insuring those who serve.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Accomplishment Coaching is proud to present the following fine programming. Accomplishment Coaching, where coaches lead and leaders coach. AccomplishmentCoaching.com.
Welcome back to the Wealth Building Hour.
Thanks for staying with me. Barbara Weltman here, providing resources for your small business that you can find at barbaraweltman.com. We're talking now with Ken Grombach, who is the author of Upside: Profiting from the Profound Demographic Shifts Ahead. And Ken, I had the question that I wanted, that I had posed before the break. You mentioned that the shift in the population is going to have an impact on taxes. What do you mean by this?
Well, I think more of the taxes are going to have an influence on the shift of the population. You know, it goes both ways. Yeah, how about that? Taxes in New York, taxes in Connecticut are through the roof, and all I have to do is live 51% of my time down in Florida, and now that I have an incredible condo down there, I can do that. That's going to make a big difference for me. I'm getting killed on state taxes, just absolutely murdered, and that's going to make a big difference. It's going to chase a lot of. It's going to give the incentive to elderly people to get out. Don't you think?
For sure, but you mentioned California, and they have high taxes too. So
well,
I guess
you got to
retirees
consider
are not
quality
going
of life.
to move to California.
Yeah, in California, the reason California is going to do fine is one, it's absolutely a melting pot of the Caucasians in California are in the minority, so the population in California is going to increase for a variety of reasons. Not only because it's you have places like San Diego and Los Angeles where the weather is wonderful. But yeah, a lot of people from California, a lot of elderly people from California bail out and go to Arizona. So I'm hoping. I don't even know the tax structure in Arizona.
They do have an income tax, but I don't think it's one of those high tax places. So,
no, I don't think so either.
But Nevada, Texas, and Florida have no income tax, no state income tax. So.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to our population if we live longer? What is that going to mean?
Well, population's funny. Population's like filling a bathtub. Babies come out of the spout, dead people go down the drain. The way you fill a bathtub is not by cranking up the water. You got to plug the drain. So if you stop people from dying, let's just say that, for instance, the average age people die goes from roughly 70 to 80 to 90 to 100, you're going to see a dramatic increase in population, huge increase. In fact, that's what's going to happen in Africa. Africa's population, on the continent of Africa, 35 countries, mostly sub-Sahara, is about 1 billion people. The fertility in Africa is about 6 kids per couple, but they die. There's a lot of the infant mortality is off the charts. Men die in their 40s, women die in their 50s. Once Africa, the last primitive continent, gets healthcare, education, technology, the population of Africa by 2050 should go to 4 billion. How about that?
Wow, that's a wow.
Yeah. Well, consider that the rest of the world, China in particular, where the number of people being born in China is decreasing and continues to decrease, even with their two-child-only policy, which has now been enforced for about 3 years. But they've eliminated a lot of parents under 40 years old, from like 40 years old to about 3 years old. They're missing 500 million people that weren't born. So that's a half billion, 250 million potential parents that are not going to have kids, which is what Xi Jinping is so upset about right now, because he has a country literally that doesn't have enough taxpayers, it doesn't have enough consumers, and it doesn't have enough labor, and labor's been their strength.
Yeah, and they are building there. I was there not that long ago, and it's crazy. It's what's going on there. Let me ask you from a business perspective. So we read the book, and we see, and the book is profiting from. So how are we profiting? If you were to be talking to small business owners, what would you tell them to take away from the book?
Well, one of the big takeaways is Generation Y. Generation Y, the millennials, the much maligned millennials who are too lazy to work and too entitled and a bunch of 222s that are nonsense. They're currently 13 to 32 years old. There's 86 million of them. They're finally leaving their parents' homes. They're moving out of the basement. They're throwing away all those trophies that they didn't deserve, and they are getting married. Now, they need to live someplace. Now, either they're going to live in tents, or we're going to have to build 25 million new housing units, housing structures, condos, apartments, houses, for them to live, or they will live in tents. So building is about to spike. Now, we learned one thing is that in 2008, and that is housing is the economy is housing. So anything to do with the building of houses and the establishment of households are going to benefit, which incidentally is pretty much everything. So when I tell small business people, I say, boy, get in front of that wave, because you're going to see a level of consumption out of Gen Y that we don't understand. And it's going to take our economy places that we can't comprehend.
That's super optimistic. I'm with you there. I'm hoping that is true. In terms of the workplace, do you see changes happening in the workplace? If so many people are moving from the northern states, then what about the workplaces there that had been catering to the population?
You're going to have to pay more. What will happen? And people ask me this all the time because I live in Connecticut. Connecticut is Central Park. Connecticut is 100 miles from Manhattan and 100 miles from Boston. And yet I live in an area where I look out at night and I can see one or two lights for miles, probably 20 miles. And the quality of life here is so high that it's not going to be kept a secret. So what is going to happen is the millennials, as they enter the labor force, and this is going to be the best, most educated, most efficient, most productive labor force that the United States has ever had, and it's the biggest. So everybody's going to be able to pick the best and the brightest to come to work for them, but they're going to have to pay them more. And I think that Connecticut is going to be fine. I think the northern states are going to be fine.
So it's a win-win. It's win for the North. It's win for the South. What's going on in the Midwest?
The Midwest and the Northeast are pretty much the same. In terms of the massive increases in population, you're not going to see it, but they're not going to decrease. And one of the other things that's happening is the Midwest and the Northeast seem to be very, very welcoming of immigrants. In Connecticut, oddly enough, our biggest critical mass of immigrants are from India, Asian India.
Mm-hmm.
We're fine. Listen, Barbara, I'll tell you this, and I say it unequivocally. The United States is in the best place it's ever been. It really has. And I know a lot of people are upset about what's going on politically, but I tell those folks, I say that the presidency is bigger than the president, and the republic is bigger than the presidency. We live in the best place on earth, and nobody's pulling it apart. We're fine. We have a few issues that we always seem to correct, and we always think that the things are really it's never been this bad, which is nonsense. It's never been this good. I'm looking forward to an economy in the United States for the next 20, 30 years, and after that, I'm dead. I don't care. That's going to change everything. Am I right?
Absolutely. It is an exciting time, and it's also one of the advantages, I think, for me, being of a certain age, is that you do have perspective. We're out of time. Everybody, thanks Ken Grombach for joining me. Upside Profiting from the Profound Demographic Shifts Ahead. Get it on Amazon. And for more about me, go to BarbaraWeltman.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
Securing Our eCity Foundation is a nonprofit organization focused on cybersecurity awareness and education. Formed in 2011, their mission is to enable every San Diegan to live, work, and play safely in the cyber world. For more information, visit securingourecity.org or call 619-630-2444. securingourecity.org, 619-630-2444. securingourecity.org.
Kinja Dixon was crowned the #1 sales executive through hard work, deep thinking, and the revelation of Universal Talk Laws. He now wants to share these lessons with you. Universal Talk Laws are what you need to know and use in business and at home to have successful and effective conversations. Kinja Dixon shares his wisdom, action plans, and wealth. Each book comes with a chance to win $10,000. Find Universal Talk Laws at KinjaDixon.com.
Attention business owners. Does it feel like your business owns you? See if you qualify for a free 90-minute business coaching session to help you build a business, not a job. During this free 90-minute strategic consultation, one of our senior coaches will help you map out the best way to grow your company and get your life back. To learn more, go to MauiMasterminds.com/scale now. That's MauiMasterminds.com/scale now.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.